The rain fell hard against the cafe windows, blurring the world outside into moving streaks of gray. Inside, the warmth of cinnamon and roasted coffee wrapped around the room like a gentle hug. Among the soft clatter of cups and quiet conversations, a little girl sat alone at a corner table near the window. Her wheelchair was parked neatly beside her, and her small fingers traced circles on the mug in front of her as if she were practicing the words she wanted to say. Every few minutes, she looked up eagerly whenever the cafe door opened, hope flashing across her eyes. But each time it wasn't the person she was waiting for, the spark faded a little. Still, she kept her smile ready, like a lantern glowing in the dark. Her name was Alina. 8 years old. Fragile in frame, fierce in heart. A girl whose body failed her more often than she deserved, but whose spirit refused to bend. And today, she was waiting for someone very specific. Meanwhile, outside, a tall man hurried down the rainy street, balancing an umbrella, a briefcase, and a small lunchbox in one hand. His shirt collar was damp, his brow tired, and his steps heavy. He had the look of someone carrying the weight of decisions that affected hundreds of employees. His name was Rayyan, a single dad and the CEO of a growing tech company, but none of that showed in his eyes. What showed was exhaustion, yet also determination. In his other hand, he held the tiny palm of his 6-year-old daughter, Hania, who struggled to keep up with his long strides. She tugged his arm. "Daddy, slow down," she whispered. He instantly softened, crouching to her level. "I'm sorry, sweetheart. Big meeting today. But I promised you breakfast first, and I keep my promises." Hania nodded and gave him a small, sleepy smile. When they pushed open the cafe door, warm air hit them. Rayyan took a deep breath. He'd been here before, just once, and only briefly. But that one moment had changed something for someone he didn't yet know. Alina's head snapped toward the sound. Her heart stopped. Then raced. "It's him," she whispered. Her trembling hands tried to flatten her shirt. She looked at the empty chair across from her and whispered to it, "I saved this seat for you." Rayyan didn't notice her at first. He guided Hania toward the counter, fixing her hair as they waited in line. But Hania noticed Alina immediately. Children often sense each other long before adults do. "Daddy, she keeps looking at us," Hania murmured. Rayyan followed his daughter's gaze. Their eyes met. Alina's heart jumped like a startled bird. She gave him a shy wave. Rayyan blinked in confusion. He had no idea who she was. Maybe she mistook him for someone else. But Hania tugged him again. "She wants you to go." And something inside Rayyan, maybe the exhaustion, maybe a long-buried intuition, told him to listen. They approached the table. Alina's voice shook. "Hi, you came back." Rayyan's brows pulled together. "I'm sorry, have we met?" She inhaled deeply, as if gathering courage from somewhere unseen. "Only once. 3 weeks ago. You helped me." Rayyan's mind raced, trying to recall. He helped many people, doors, bags, directions, simple things he didn't store as memories. But before he could ask, she continued. "You held the door for me while everyone else walked past. And you said, 'Take your time. I'm not in a hurry.' Nobody says that to me." Her voice cracked. "I come here every Saturday morning," she whispered, "in case you came back. And today, you did." Rayyan froze. Hania's little hand found Alina's. "I think she's lonely, Daddy." That single sentence pierced through him more sharply than anything else could. He pulled out the chair. The one she had saved for him. Alina beamed, relief washing over her features like sunlight after a storm. As they sat, Rayyan noticed the faint tremor in her legs, the stiffness of her posture. He knew her condition, not specifically, but he knew what struggle looked like. "Why were you waiting for me?" he asked gently. "Because, that day, you looked sad," she said. "But when you smiled at me, it felt like the world didn't hurt so much. So I wanted to give you something back." Rayyan swallowed a lump in his throat. "What did you want to give me?" She pointed to a sketchbook beside her. Inside was a drawing, simple, childlike, but filled with emotion. It showed a man holding an umbrella over a little girl in a wheelchair. Above it, she had written, Some people make the rain stop without even knowing it. Rayyan stared at it, silent. His heart was not ready for this kind of gentleness. He had spent the last 2 years trying to be strong for Hania after losing his wife. His work consumed him. His grief hardened him. His loneliness swallowed him. But right now, staring at a girl he had helped for barely 10 seconds weeks ago, something cracked open. "Thank you," he whispered. "This means more than you know." Alina's eyes shone. But then, the cafe door opened again, and a woman rushed in, panic all over her face. "Alina. You left the treatment center without telling anyone." The woman, her nurse, hurried over, breathless. "You can't do that. Your session was important." Alina bit her lip, guilt flooding her expression. "I needed to come," she whispered. The nurse softened but still scolded, "Your legs are getting weaker. Missing physiotherapy isn't an option." Rayyan leaned forward. "What condition does she have?" The nurse hesitated. "A muscle degenerative disorder. It's been progressing faster than expected. She needs intensive treatment, but her mother works 2 jobs. They're struggling." Alina whispered quickly, but today was important. The nurse sighed, defeated. Rayyan exhaled slowly, feeling something shift inside him again. He looked at Alina. "Would you let me help?" Alina blinked. "Why?" "Because you saved something for me today," he said. "A seat. A moment. A reminder that kindness matters. Let me return that." Her lips trembled with the beginning of a smile. "But, you don't even know me." Rayyan shook his head softly. "I want to." Hania squeezed Alina's hand. "Can we be friends?" Alina nodded eagerly, tears sliding down her cheeks. From that day forward, Rayyan made sure she never missed another treatment. He talked to her mother, arranged transport, covered costs quietly, no spotlight, no charity, just human decency. He visited the clinic when possible, sometimes with Hania, sometimes alone. They read stories together, laughed through the hard days, celebrated small victories. Slowly, Alina's courage grew. And slowly, Rayyan's heart healed. Months passed. Her mobility improved enough for her to stand for a few seconds with support, a moment that brought her mother to her knees in grateful tears. The therapist said progress like this was rare. Extraordinary. And Alina knew why. "It's because someone sat in the seat I saved," she whispered once to Rayyan. He laughed softly. "No, it's because you never stopped saving space in your heart for people." On her 10th birthday, Rayyan and Hania surprised her at the same cafe. They brought balloons, cake, and a new sketchbook. Alina rolled up to their table, smiling brighter than the candles. "I saved this seat for you again," she said. Rayyan smiled back. "And I'll keep showing up for it." Her eyes glimmered. "You saved me too, you know." Rayyan lowered his head, humbled. "I just did what anyone should do." "No," she whispered. "You did what many could, but few would." And there, amid the smell of coffee and the soft hum of life, 3 hearts, one broken, one lonely, one hopeful, found belonging. A single dad found purpose beyond grief. A lonely girl learned that her voice mattered. A child learned that kindness is a language louder than words. And together, they proved something the world often forgets. Sometimes, saving a seat for someone can save a life too. The winter sun filtered gently through the cafe windows, filling the room with a soft golden glow. It had been 3 months since Rayyan first sat in the seat Alina had saved for him, and in those months, their lives had become quietly intertwined, like threads that were always meant to meet. Alina rolled her wheelchair toward the corner table with practiced ease, her hands steady on the wheels. She wore a small pendant around her neck, a gift from Rayyan and Hania, a tiny silver star that she touched whenever she felt nervous. Today, she touched it often. Something important was happening. Rayyan arrived a minute later, holding 2 cups of hot chocolate and a cup of coffee balanced with his briefcase. Hania walked beside him proudly, carrying a small box wrapped in blue paper. "You're early," Rayyan said, smiling as he set the drinks down. "I didn't want to be late," Alina replied softly. "Today is special." Hania placed the wrapped box in front of her. "Open it." Alina's fingers trembled as she tore the ribbon. Inside was a pair of custom-designed hand gloves, soft and supportive, made to help her grip the wheels more comfortably. She gasped. "They're for your therapy," Rayanne explained. "To make it easier. You've been pushing yourself so hard." Alina's eyes filled with tears, but she blinked quickly, not wanting to cry. "Thank you. They're perfect." Yet despite the warmth of the moment, Rayanne sensed something different in her eyes. A shadow. Something she wasn't saying. He leaned forward. "Alina, is something wrong?" She hesitated, fingers gripping the gloves tightly. I have to tell you something." The way her voice cracked made Hania instantly reach for her hand. "What is it?" Hania whispered. Alina took a deep breath. "My doctor said my condition is changing again. The new treatments are helping, but I need something stronger. A new therapy. But it's in another city, far away." Rayanne felt a chill run through him. "How far?" he asked. 3 hours, she whispered. "And I'd have to stay there for weeks, maybe months." The café suddenly felt too quiet. The hum of life around them faded, leaving only the weight of the moment. Hania squeezed Alina's fingers. "But you'll come back, right?" Alina's throat bobbed as she tried to speak. "I don't know. Mom wants me to go. The doctors say it might slow things down. But it means I won't see you. Not for a long time." Rayanne looked at her, this small child who had changed his life without even trying. He thought of her drawings, her bravery, her quiet strength. He thought of the way she always saved him a seat, as if believing that kindness alone could hold the world together. He wasn't ready to lose this connection. He wasn't ready for the café to feel empty again. He wasn't ready for her absence. "Alina," he said softly, "look at me." She lifted her teary eyes. "You're not losing us," he said. "Not today. Not ever." Her lip trembled. "But you have your own life. Your company. Your daughter. I'm just someone you helped." Rayanne shook his head. "No. You're someone who helped me too. More than you know." A tear slipped down her cheek. He continued, voice steady and warm, "If this treatment helps you, then we'll make it work. I'll drive you there myself if I have to. And every weekend, Hania and I will visit. You won't go through this alone. Not anymore." Alina pressed her palms to her face, shoulders shaking. She had never been someone's priority before. Never someone worth rearranging a life for. Hania climbed onto the chair beside her. "You're my friend. Friends stay." After a long moment, Alina breathed out shakily. "I'm scared." "I know," Rayanne whispered. "That's why we'll face this together." Just then, the café door opened and Alina's mother rushed in, hair messy, breath uneven, worry etched across her face. She spotted Alina and hurried over. "There you are," she panted. "Did you tell them?" Alina nodded. Her mother looked at Rayanne, embarrassment flickering in her eyes. "I'm sorry if she burdened you. We don't want to trouble anyone." Rayanne stood up. "You're not troubling anyone. We want to help." Her mother blinked in confusion. "But why?" she whispered. "Why us?" Rayanne glanced at Alina, then at Hania, then back at the woman who had fought alone for so long. "Because kindness shouldn't need a reason. And because your daughter saved me from my own loneliness just by existing." Silence stretched between them. Then Alina's mother broke down, covering her mouth as tears escaped. Years of fear, exhaustion, and silent battles poured out. And Rayanne gently placed a hand on her shoulder. "We'll figure out the treatment together." For the first time in a long time, she nodded without arguing. Over the next days, Rayanne arranged transportation, accommodation near the treatment center, and scheduled weekly visits. He even adjusted his work hours, something his employees had never seen him do. People whispered at the office, surprised to see their strict CEO stepping out early on Fridays with a stuffed backpack in one hand, always filled with snacks, coloring books, therapy tools, and small surprises for Alina. Hania counted down the hours each week. And when the day finally came for Alina to leave for the new city, the café felt heavier than ever. Alina sat quietly at their usual table, wearing the gloves they gifted her. Her eyes were red, but determined. "You ready?" Rayanne asked. "No," she whispered. "But I trust you." He smiled. "That's enough." As they wheeled her out to the car, she stopped suddenly. "Wait." Rayanne turned to her. She pointed at the table. "I saved that seat, for when I come back." His throat tightened. "And it will be waiting for you. Just like we will." Hania hugged her tightly. "Promise you'll get stronger." Alina hugged her back. "Promise you won't forget me." Rayanne kneeled beside her. "We couldn't forget you even if we tried." With that, the journey began. The road ahead was long. The challenges were many. But this time, she wasn't facing them alone. And somewhere deep in her heart, Alina carried a promise, one that would shape the chapters yet to come.